Hi, this is Chong Kim, and we're going to write shooting stars in Ruby. Okay, so let's get started. So shooting stars. Okay, so let's take the standard input, get a character, store it into a variable, and just print it out. Okay, so if we run this, it waits for us to type something, and we type something, but it's still waiting because it's waiting for a character return, and then it reads the character. Okay, so what we need to do is make it so that it doesn't wait for that character to turn, and also uh, not print out the character as we're typing it. So we can do that by doing system stty, and we turn on raw, and we turn off the echo. Okay, this is only for Unix, so if you're on Windows, you probably need to figure out a different way of doing this. Okay, and at the end we'll turn it back. We will reverse this. Okay, so let's see what happens now. So when we run, it's still waiting. I press a letter, and now it doesn't print out the character, and we didn't have to press character return. Okay, this is good. But what we want to do is when if we don't press a letter within a certain amount of time, we want it to continue. So we want it to not block. So if there is input, then it'll take it, otherwise it'll just continue on. So that's what we want to do. Okay, so we can do that by using select. Select is different from the array select. This is from the kernel. Okay, so select takes a list of inputs, so that would be standard in. And when it's ready, then it'll return that list. And there are two others, which is, we'll just set it as nil, and that's for writing, if there's something to be written. Okay, so now the last argument is the timeout. So let's set the timeout to be 1. Okay, the read is the only one that we care about, so we'll just ignore everything else. So when there is something ready, it'll catch it, and if the RS exists, that means that it didn't time out. Then we're going to print the letter. Otherwise, we're going to print timed out. Okay, so let's see. And if I do nothing, it'll say timed out. And if I press a letter, it says got that letter. Okay, this is good. The next thing we need to do to make our game is to position the cursor and to clear the screen. And to do that, we use escape code sequence. So if you go to the Wikipedia ANSI escape code, you'll see all these escape code sequences. And the important thing for us is this one here, which is sets the cursor position. Okay, but I happen to know the code for clearing the screen, which is okay, \033, that's escape, bracket 2 capital J. So all the escape code sequences we care about is going to start with escape bracket. Okay, that's to clear it, and we want to position something. So we'll just say at x comma y and a string. So print escape bracket, okay, and this is going to be the row, column, and a capital H. So the row, column, and a capital H, and then we're going to put the string there. Okay, so let's clear the screen here, and let's just make sure that this works by at let's say 5, 5, and that's where we'll put the string. Okay, so let's see if that works. Okay, and got A at 5, 5. Okay, so that's good. All right, so what we want to do now is let's have the spaceship at the bottom. We'll set the let's set some variables here. Width is see 80. Height is 20. Okay, and see. Okay, and we're going to put this in a loop. Okay, and let's see. So when we press Q, then break. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay. This gets the input. Okay, we clear the screen and we're waiting for our input, and if nothing comes, then at X, we don't have X set, so X is going to be the position of the spaceship, and that's going to be set at 1. X and height, and we're going to put the spaceship, which is the A. Okay, and we're going to say that X is updated by plus equals dx. And then at that new location, we didn't specify dx yet, so dx is going to be initially 1. So 1 meaning that it's going to go to the right. So x and the height actually see, we update the x and we see how this works so far. All right. Okay, so we can see the A is being printed out. 1 second is way too long for the update. So for one thing, let's make it 10 times faster. And the other thing is we need to hide the cursor. So let's create hide cursor. Escape bracket. Okay, and let's go to the Wikipedia page, and we see that question mark 25L is hides the cursor. Question mark 25L. Okay, and there's also show cursor, and that was with an H. Okay, so we want to hide the cursor, and at the end we want to show the cursor. Okay, so let's see how this looks. Okay, this looks better, but we need to remove the trailing A's. So we'll do that by, right before we do the update, we'll put a space there. Okay, and we'll make this a little bit faster, but twice as fast. Okay, so let's see it now. Okay, that looks good. And what we want to do is when it hits the boundaries, so if the x plus dx is going to be greater than the width, then we want the dx to be in the opposite direction. Or if you hit it the other way, so x plus dx is less than 1. Okay, and let's make this a little bit faster. So 5, let's make it 2, see what that looks like. Okay, well, that's a little bit too fast. Okay, all right, so let's see if it goes to the end. It should bounce back, and once it hits the other side, it should bounce back. So it's going back and forth. And what we want to do now is when we press spacebar, then we want to set up, we want to fire something. So we'll set the fire position to be, initially it'll be nil. we know the x position. For the y position, it's going to start off at the height. Okay, so now we have a position. And now we're going to update the fire. So if the fire exists, then we'll do the same thing at fire 0 and fire 1. So that's the x and y position of the fire, and we're going to put a space. And we're going to update the y location. So fire y location, we're going to -1. So it's going to keep going up. Okay, and if the fire, the y position of the fire, if it's less than 1, then let's put this in the else clause. Okay, then we want to just reset the fire, set it back to nil. Okay, so let's run this. I press spacebar. Okay, nothing's happening, so let's see why. Okay, when it's a spacebar, then fire. If fire, oh, that's because we're not printing anything. Okay, so let's put a vertical bar there. So now let's see. Okay, so now I'm firing. Looks good. But if I don't wait until the bullet goes all the way to the end, it leaves a trail. So when we need to blank it out. So we need to put a blank space there if the fire exists previously. Otherwise, and then and we set the fire. So let's see if that works now. Okay, great. So now when we fire, it doesn't leave a trace anymore. Okay, so now we need to draw the stars. So we need to, let's make 40 stars. So 40 times, okay, stars is an empty list. Okay, so we're going to, for the x and y, it's going to be random between, the x position is going to be 1 to the width. And the y part is going to be from 1 to the height, but we'll subtract 5. Okay, because we don't want it to be right by the spaceship. We want to be a little bit above. Okay, so we'll make 40 of these, and then we're going to store it into the stars. And let's print it out. At that location, x and y, we're going to put an asterisk. Okay, all right, so let's see if, well, actually, we need to do this. We have clear here, so we need to, let's put a clear at the very beginning. And okay, all of this setup, let's put it all the way in the beginning. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Okay, so we have stars, we can shoot. Okay, but the bullet doesn't know anything about those stars, so once it hits, it should stop. Okay, so we could also change the terminating condition here. So instead of saying true, we could say while stars, while it's not empty. So when we're done, then it'll just stop on its own. Okay, so let's see. All right, so okay, so this is where the fire is being updated, and so if we need another condition here, so if the fire position, we take a look at the stars. Is that included? Okay, is that position one of the star locations? Then we'll just say fire is equal to nil. For now, we'll just set it equal to nil. And we could keep a score. And yes, let's keep a score, and we'll say at the 1 comma height plus 1. We're going to put the score. Let's see, the score would be stars dot size. Okay, well, it wouldn't be the score, it would be how many stars. So stars left up. Let's see, stars left. All right, so let's stars left 40. Okay, so this is almost what we want, but it's not getting rid of the stars. So we need to get rid of it now. Okay, and we also want to this updates the score, but we should also actually we'll just leave it. No, actually we'll put it right over here. Okay. All right, so when it starts, we can see the score. Okay, we need to remove the star. So delete stars dot delete the fire. We also want to clear it out. So okay, at that location, we'll blank it out. Okay, so let's see if, okay, so we have 40 left. Okay, so we got 39, 38. Okay. All right, 36. Okay, so this looks like it's working. So this is shooting stars written in Ruby.